Welcome to Warhammer Warscroll Review. In this video we are taking a look at the Nighthaunt unit, the Myrmourn Banshees.
Warscroll Review.
Myrmourn Banshees on the surface have a pretty uninteresting war scroll. I really like the models, so when I originally saw the rules, I was disappointed. After seeing the complete picture of the Nighthaunt army, I'm happy to say I was wrong, and the Myrmourns are brutal. A bit faster than your average infantry, with 8-inch flying movement. They have the usual ethereal 4-up save and bravery 10. Unsurprisingly, they only have 1 wound, making them quite brittle. Their melee weapon is called the Chill Dagger. It offers 1 attack that hits on 4s, wounds on 3s, Ren 2, damage D3. This weapon is really powerful, but has the downside of just 1 attack. Myrmourns have a special ability called Spell Eaters. In your enemy's hero phase, they can unbind 1 spell, and they are +1 for every 4 models in the unit. In your hero phase, they can dispel an endless spell, but then they suffer D3 mortal wounds. With all the healing abilities at Nighthaunt's disposal, this really shouldn't be that big a deal. When they unbind or dispel a spell, they get +1 attack until the next hero phase. Myrmourns come in units of 4 and max out at 12 models. They are 80 points for each set, but I can honestly see that going up at some point. Taking a maxed out unit of 12 Banshees is likely the best way to run this unit. They would be +3 to unbind a spell, which is basically stopping a single spell a turn. Taking 12 also makes better use of their extra attack for successfully unbinding or dispelling a spell. At that time, you're putting quite a few points into 12 wounds, so you have to be pretty careful with how you are protecting them. Be sure to keep them safely screened as much as possible, and keep them out of fights they just can't roll through. I can't forget to mention they also have the summonable keyword, and I can't stress enough how important it is to keep them healed up if you take a larger unit. Alone, the Myrmourn Banshees really don't shine that bright. Sure, they could potentially get 3 attacks each on their own, but that's only with things going just right. Myrmourns can be included in a Nighthaunt or Deathgrant alliance, though they can be used as allies in a few other Death factions. In a Nighthaunt force, they will be most at home. All the battle traits are pretty helpful for them, but Wave of Terror shines way above them all. Although unreliable, if the Nighthaunt player rolls an unmodified 10+ on their charge roll, the Banshees can immediately attack, and still be chosen to attack after that, making a brutal unit even more bloodthirsty. A few command traits and relics work well with the Banshees, pretty much our usual go-tos. Starting with Ruler of the Spirit Host, the trait returns D3 models back to a nearby unit at the start of the player's turn. Having multiple sources of healing models back is extremely important to Myrmourn Banshees, as they need to be kept in tip-top shape because 1 bad round of combat or shooting can take out the whole unit. As far as artifacts go, the most noteworthy is probably Pendant of the Fell Wind. When the Banshees are near the bearer, they get an extra 3-inch movement, making it even easier to stay behind your screen until the perfect moment to fly out and attack. 11-inch movement on these models is pretty deadly. While Myrmourn Banshees can't be taken as part of the Legions of Nagash, they can ally in. They can also ally into a Soulblight force, and honestly, they are likely a solid ally choice in either faction. Do note that they miss out on a Deathless save in this case, which is kind of a big deal for these ladies. Allegiances aside, Banshees can get quite a few bonuses from other Death units. Guardian of Souls may be the most obvious. As I keep saying, healing models back to this unit to keep it at full strength is pivotal to their survival. The Guardian of Souls Spectral Lure spell will be returning D6 models back, which will really piss off your opponent, making them feel as though all their efforts to slowly kill them are futile. I skipped mentioning it until now, but the Beacon of Nagashizar, a Nighthaunt artifact, would be extremely helpful in ensuring enough Banshees come back. The item adds a flat 3 models to the Guardian's spell. Worst case scenario, this means that the spell is returning 4 models, and best case, you just got back 9. Not only this, but the Guardian of Souls adds +1 to wound rolls, making your ladies wound on 2s. Oof, brutal. Also, it's a bit obvious, but Mystic Shield is a great spell for these models. The alternate Anniversary Guardian of Souls can also help out with its unique spell, Temporal Translocation. This one would give the Banshees an extra 6-inch movement if they needed the extra distance or need to pull out of a bad combat. but this leaves their unimpressive 4+ to hit as an initial hurdle for their attacks. Lucky for Nighthaunt, there are a few ways to mitigate this. The Spirit Torment can help with this. The model allows nearby Nighthaunt models to reroll hit rolls of 1. The better portion of this model's ability is, again, its healing capabilities, this one called Captured Soul Energy. If the Death player slays 3 models or more, they can heal a nearby unit D3 models or wounds at the start of the Battle Shock phase. When I first saw this ability, it felt mediocre, but actually playing with it, it is extremely effective. While healing back at the top of your turn is certainly good because it prepares you for the ensuing combats, healing in the Battle Shock phase prepares you for the ensuing Battle Shock test. I mean, duh, but getting a couple models back before you may lose a couple models may be the difference between losing the entire unit and having something left after a bad test. In addition, it is used in both players' turns, effectively doubling its usefulness over similar abilities that take place in the hero phase. On average, this will heal back 4 models a game round. Together with abilities like Spectral Lure and Ruler of the Spirit Host, Captured Soul Energy sort of creates healing bookends. Heal before you attack, and again after. Back to accuracy mitigation. Lady Allender comes to mind. Her unique spell not only puts an enemy at -1 to hit, but the unit attacking them is +1 to hit. So cast this on the target of the Myrmourns and have them wreck face with a 3+ to hit. The Knight of Shrouds on foot has a command ability that will also increase your to-hit rolls by 1. Not bad, but there are likely better uses for your CP. The Knight of Shrouds on Ethereal Steed grants something better, +1 attack. Used in the combat phase, this command ability will be pretty helpful. But what is even better is the Vampire Lord's command ability, Blood Feast. It also adds +1 attack, but is fundamentally better as it happens in the hero phase and lasts a whole turn. While the Knight of Shrouds command ability lasts only a single fight phase. Through spells and command abilities, the Myrmourn Banshees can pretty easily reach 3 or 4 attacks each, and with enough command points, even surpass that. Maybe hold the Myrmourns back until you have accumulated enough CP, and then just go to town. In addition, Inspiring Presence will be an important command ability to save a CP for. Don't let your Banshees get scared away. Another unit that can help Myrmourns are Endless Spells. Include something that has a really low casting value, but still provides a service, like Prismatic Palisade, and cast it near the Banshees. Then, dispel it with the Banshees, giving yourself a cool +1 attack. You could even drop a Palisade to block an opponent's charge to the Banshees, only to dispel it the next turn to hit the opponent's unit with a boatload of bloodthirsty Banshees. Really, this concept is the core to the Myrmourn strategies. Load up as many +1 attack sources on them and watch them absolutely wreck whatever they touch. But don't forget to leave them a few sources for healing, especially the Guardian of Souls and Spirit Torment, as they help with the offense as well. Myrmourn Banshees also fit in an interesting Warscroll battalion called the Shrieker Host. My personal favorite from the Nighthaunt Battle Tome, the battalion includes 2 units of Myrmourn Banshees, 2 units of Dreadscythe Harridans, as well as a Tomb Banshee. Any enemy unit within 6 inches of any of the included models must reroll Battle Shock tests of 1. This is pretty solid for stopping things like Demon Icon Bearers, but also just good in general. But here's the kicker to the battalion. It also prevents the opponent from using Inspiring Presence on the unit. Hot damn, now all your efforts into creating an anti-bravery army don't just go out the window with one generic command ability. Nighthaunt really can create an anti-bravery army, and that feels very thematic for them. Myrmourn Banshees are a solid unit, but they are real command point hogs. Be sure to have 1 or 2 going into the game, and don't blow your load too early. Try to foresee how many extra attacks you will need to wipe a target, and only use that much. Defeating Myrmourn Banshees requires the same tactics as most other death units. Kill a unit to the model in one go. If you can't manage that, kill the surrounding support characters, especially the healing ones. Spirit Torment and Guardian of Souls should be at the top of that list. Just don't leave a model left if you can help it, or they will regenerate. The Myrmourn Banshees receive a 4 out of 5. They are extremely brutal after they eat up your command points, but only after. Without any support, they will die pretty quick, and even with support, it is pretty easy to take them out. What do you think of the Myrmourn Banshees? What War Scrolls would you like to see reviewed next? Leave your suggestions, thoughts, and questions in the comments below, and thanks for watching.